Hello, friends. Uh, I welcome you all, and I'm your friend Pradeep. Today we will talk about on the World Bank. As you know that very well, I have started the series of the international organizations. So in this series, I have covered four lecture. Very first, I covered the United Nations, then WTO, that is World Trade Organization. Afterwards, I talk about the WHO, that is World Health Organization, then UNESCO. All right. So this is my fifth lecture on the international organizations. So I hope you must have watched my previous lectures. So today we will again talk about the World Bank. Again, to know about the World Bank is very important for those who are preparing for the competitive exams, whether you talk about UPSC-CSE, state PCS, and all other examinations. Every examinations, more or less, these international organizations are being asked frequently. So before going into this topic, my dear friends, I will request you, all of you, if you like my videos, my this lecture series, so kindly please share my, subscribe my channel, and also share your among your friends so that they can also get benefited. And apart from this, please press the bell icon so that you can get the notification of my further lecture. Okay, so let's get into this topic. So before going into the depth of this topic, first of all, I prepared the content about the World Bank. So here I have prepared a content, and how many points will be covered here. So we can see here. First of all, we will talk about the introduction of World Bank, then where is the headquarter of World Bank, and when this institution was established, then who is the president of World Bank, how many member countries are there, right? And most important, again, we will talk about the relation with the World Bank of India, right? So history of India with the World Bank also will be discussed in today's lecture. And last but not the least, function of World Bank. And apart from this, we will also uh, make a glance on the top contributor of the World Bank and top borrowers of the World Bank. So these many things will be discussed today, right? So let's go ahead. So very first, you can see the introductions. So World Bank is an international or financial institution that provides loan and grants to the government of low and middle income countries for the purpose of pursuing capital projects. My dear friends, in this introductions, uh, I would like to tell you one more things. What is the need? What was the need to furnish this organization? My dear friends, as we know very well, most of the international organizations, whether you talk about United Nations, WHO, WTO, UNESCO, World Bank, International Monitoring Fund, IMF, all these institutions were established after World War II, that happened in 1949, because that world war was very catastrophic for entire world. you know the infrastructures, the capitals have completely destroyed in that war. So after finish of this war, there was a need to again to come in the same pitch for each and every nation. So if you want to make any institution or something else, then you need to have a money. So some countries come together to contribute some money for those countries who affected very much about by this World War II. So this was the need uh, to furnish this World Bank sort of institution. Okay, so let's make one again the glance. This is the financial institution, means what? Those countries are underdeveloped or developing countries has some need of money. then World Bank will come forward to provide the loans and grants for those countries so that they can develop their infrastructures. They can purchase the capital for their country, so they may come on the mainstream of the developed nations, right? So again, the second slide here we can discuss the World Bank is the collective name of the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, that is IBRD, right? Uh, the World Bank, I think, is World Bank is the organization in which so many different institutions, and all the institutions come in the domain of World Bank. So here you can see the international finance corporations, international developed associations. These some institutions work for the particular task. Suppose you need to for the reconstruction and develop the country, then you have to reach to the IBRD, right? And again, if you need to international financial corporation, so this IFC will come forward to help you out. Same international developed associations. So three of five international organizations owned by the World Bank. There are five organizations that provide loans and grants in which these three institutions will come under the World Bank. So it was established along with the IMF. Here you can see the International Monitoring Fund. It is a sister organization of the World Bank at the 1944 Bretton Woods Conference. My dear friends, here I mention the word that a Bretton Woods Conference. This conference was held after the World War II 1945 in the USA, right? Hampshire is a city, right, where this conference was held. In this conference, some rules and regulations were furnished for the World Bank. All right, so here you can see the picture. This picture is I import from the uh, uh, Bretton Woods conference. The pictures has been taken, so I fetch one picture here. All right, so now talk next slide. So here you can see the headquarters and establishment here. My dear friends, you must pay heed. Apart from if you aside one UPSC-CSE, so if you talk about any exam, whether you talk about STATE-PCS, SSC, banking, and all other examinations, in these exams generally the headquarters establishment years are asked frequently. So you have to pay heed on the headquarters and establishment here. So here the headquarter of World Bank in Washington DC, that is in USA, United States of America, and this institutions, that is World Bank, was established in July 1944. All right, so this is the beautiful picture you can see here. This is the building of the headquarter of the World Bank, that is in USA. Okay, so now go ahead. So here we will talk about the president and member countries. So my dear friends, again the World Bank president's name is David Malpass. Again, in present scenario, he is a chief administration as administrative officer of the World Bank. So you can see the picture. And one more interesting thing I would like to tell you regarding the presidents. Generally, the president of World Bank is elected from the USA origin, or in America. This president is only elected from the USA, right? So 189 countries in IBRD. As I told you, IBRD, IDA, these are the organization. These organizations come in the under the World Bank. So here IBRD has 189 countries and 174 countries in IDA, okay? International Development of Associations. And here IBRD stands for International Bank for Reconstructions and Development. Many times these full form may be asked in the exams also. So you must pay heed on the IBRD, IDA sort of things. Now next slide we will talk about, that is history of India with the World Bank. Okay, so we mentioned in the very first page what is the relation of India with the World Bank? So here you can see India was one of the 17 countries which met in Atlantic City, right? India come in those 17 countries who come very first forward to furnish this World Bank sort of institution. So India is one of them, right? And these 17 countries met in Atlantic City, which comes in the USA in June 1944 to prepare the agenda for Bretton Woods conference, right? So India played such a big role in World Bank sort of institutions, right? He prepared the agenda. What kind of things should be mentioned in the chart of World Bank, right? The chart, the rules and regulations were furnished in the Bretton Woods conference. That conference were held in the USA Hampshire that I told you, that is Atlantic City. The second point, when we talk about India, in fact, the name International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, that is IBRD, was first suggested by India to the drafting committee, right? There is a drafting committee. Each and every institution has some committee. That committee will come forward to furnish some rules and regulations. So that committee is known as drafting committee. The whatever rules and regulation written on the page, so that page is known as drafting, right? The second point we can discuss here, the bank lending to India started in 1944, right? Very first time India took loan from the World Bank in 1949. That time the amount was $34 million, and this amount was borrowed by the India for the development of Indian railways, right? And it is also said right now, still till now India has borrowed $45 billion from the World Bank, and it is also said that this time is completely 50 years. In these 45 to 50 years, India has borrowed a $45 billion. I think this is such a big amount. Or we can say one more thing. India is really a very good, very big borrower of from the World Bank and IBRD, right? So this is some history that I have furnished for you in this slide. Now, now we will talk about the functions of World Bank. So as we have been talking about the World Bank. So apart from discussing the headquarters, presidents, member countries, relation with India, now again we will try to fetch some important points regarding the World Bank. So here we will talk about the function of World Bank. So what kind of work is is done by the World Bank? So very first we can see here, granting reconstruction loan to devastated countries, right? Suppose we have discussed earlier the country who have suffered a lot due to the World War II, their infrastructure totally destroyed. So to again reconstruction of the infrastructure, there is a need for the works, for the money. Then the World Bank will come to provide the loans for those countries. Again, granting development loans to underdeveloped countries. Again and again, we are talking about World Bank is such a very good institutions that help to those countries who are underdeveloped, poor, providing loans to government for agriculture. Apart from the development of infrastructure, World Bank also provide loans for the government to make very good their agriculture, irrigation system, power system, transport system, water supply, education, health, etc. These all are things come in the category of infrastructure. If any country has a good condition in all these things, then automatically the economy will increase of that particular country. So World Bank will work in all these areas for the underdeveloped or poor country. We can see some more points here. We can discuss about the functions, that is providing loans to private concerns for a specified project. Here we will again talk about, apart from the governments, if some private person will reach to the World Bank for the loan, if World Bank gets satisfied for their project, then definitely World Bank will give the loans for the for the private persons also. So it is also good things. And next, maybe promoting foreign investment by guaranteeing loans provided by other organizations. Means what? Apart from this, World Bank will talk to those persons who have a who is a big industrialist, and that industrial is asked to establish their company in underdeveloped or poor countries, so that that country can come in the mainstream and they can increase their economy. And for doing so, World Bank take a grant for providing the loans from another organizations. So this is a very good initiative of the World Bank. Next point maybe talk about here, that is providing technical, economic and monetary advice. Apart from this, World Bank works for the giving the advice, whether you talk about technically, economic and monetary advice to member countries for specific projects, right? And encouraging industrial development for developed underdeveloped countries by promoting economic reforms. And also World Bank will come in those countries who are underdeveloped to establish the industries in their countries, uh, for promoting for reform their economy. For that, the World Bank will do the best for doing so. All right. So these are some functions of the World Bank. Here we will talk about some important some facts. I think these facts are not very important but interesting, so I mention here the World Bank's top borrowers, right? So here you can see some countries name I have mentioned, that Mexico, Brazil, Turkey, Pakistan, China, India, Argentina. So these countries are the most highly borrowers from the World Bank. In these countries you can see most of countries come in the Asia continent, and some countries come from Europe and some comes from the uh, South America. So China is a highly most uh, uh, is a country who borrowed a very much amount than India, then some more other countries also here. So these are countries who borrowed highly. So here World Bank's top contributor. We discussed about the borrowers. Now we will talk about the contributors also. So there are some countries who give a lot of amount for the World Bank. They are a very good contributors for that, for these institutions. The very first you can see the USA. USA gave the contribution of the total budget of World Bank, that is 16.39%. Then Japan 7.87%, Germany 4.49%, United Kingdom, that is UK 4.30%, and France 4.30%. So these are the major contributor for the World Bank. And one more interesting thing I would like to tell you. It is said France is the country who borrowed very first uh, uh, the amount from the World Bank. I think this is the first country who borrowed the amount from the World Bank. So these are things regarding the World Banks. I hope, my dear friends, you must enjoy this lecture. Please, if you like then please subscribe and share my channel. Also hit the bell icons so that you can get the notification. Thank you so much.